Becca, what'd you think of the Project G.R.I.L.L WiLLcast?
I was very impressed.
Some impressive high school kids.
They were very well versed,
Yes.
and they had a lot of thoughts, which I thought was fun. Like, it's good that they have lots of thoughts, and I was bummed I didn't have a mic for this one because there were so many of them.
We'll have to have them back for round 2. Because there's a whole competition side of this as well. So they do this this grill design, kind of a creative design, but also functional.
Yeah.
And then they submit it and get to compete against other people doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's 1 grill per school, is my understanding. And there's a bunch of local teams. So we talked to them today, and actually in about a week, I think it's always at Festival Foods in Fond du Lac.
Yep.
All the grills set up, and there's the competition, and people can go. It's like a giant broad fry. So
cool.
Yeah.
And you've known about Project G.R.I.L for a while.
I want to say Campbell Sport started doing it when I was in high school or just after. So the concept's pretty familiar to me. Yep. This will shock everyone. I was not a Project G.R.I.L kid. I cut off half a fingertip during sewing class, so they were not about to let me in the shop. But yeah, it's a really great program, and it's really grown also. I think when I was in high school, there was maybe 3 grills being built in Fond du Lac County, and now I think it's closer to like a dozen.
And it really aligns with the WiLL mission.
100%.
To get people excited to design and build things, and the community development and supporting the manufacturing, the construction community. And it was cool for us to see, how important that mission is, and how important, how excited kids can get to make things. And we're going to help them paint the grill, and we're going to help them with a few things. And it was just a really cool WiLLcast. Yeah,
it was awesome. And I got the opportunity to walk them through the shop.
Gave them a tour.
Gave them a tour. I did. I was a disclaimer when they walked in. Point Blake said, I'm like, I'm not Adam Rupp.
It's your second tour of the week, though.
I know. I'm getting the hang of it.
It's becoming a habit.
I'm like, I'm not Adam Rupp, but I can hold my own.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, Willy Wonka isn't here to show off with a little, the magic behind the mission here. But they were really sharp. They were really engaged. Their eyes lit up when they saw the paint booth because they knew they needed some help with that. But it was also great just to connect with another local teacher. Those guys, even before when we were doing it, they were singing his praises. So Laconia, obviously.
Mr. Felix.
They've got a good one there.
The gold standard for shop teachers.
Yeah. So when they said, look, I was not a shop kid in high school. This will shock no one. But when they were talking about simple things like how, did they say place a toilet or something like that?
An electrical outlet cover.
Oh, okay. I thought they said there's some basic plumbing too. But there's
maybe.
But
I guess we'll have to rewatch.
Yeah,
it.
when you guys listen now, pay attention. But they did talk about how in their shop class they are learning some basic life skills in the same way I had to take a personal finance class, which was good. There's a lot of value in that, and even if if
you don't see it at the time,
and even if you retain 10%, that 10% is really, really good. So, and I don't want to totally steal their thunder. You'll hear the guys talk about it on how they think more kids should have to take at least one shop class. They compared it to English. But I was sitting there and I didn't have my mic, but I was like, yeah, actually I would have found value in that to a certain extent. Just learning some basic life skills. It's no different than having to take an auto class. You know how to change the oil, check the oil in your car.
It's truly
I think there's
functional, useful learning.
100%. I think there's some stuff there, even being able to converse with someone who does that or have general knowledge would be really good.
And I think teachers and administrators and policymakers, I think they need to listen to, kids like this, discuss their passions and maybe some of their frustrations and things like that, because as we all know in the manufacturing, the building community, we need a lot more kids to get interested in this stuff. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And Becca, thanks for setting it up.
Yeah, anytime.
So tell me about the snowmobiling. So you bought a snowmobile before this last winter, or when'd you get it?
I bought it last winter.
Okay.
I went out and bought a brand new Skidoo MXZ, and it was a lot of fun when we did have snow. And then once the snow went away, it was just a waste of money.
So you didn't take it up north?
Nope.
Yeah, even up north in Wisconsin didn't have a lot of snow this year either.
Yeah, it was just a pretty poor winter for snowmobilers in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Even just across the U.S., but really hit us hard here.
Do you guys do any snowmobiling or four-wheeling?
I used to have a four-wheeler, but I do have a snowmobile still.
And you're a Skidoo guy, or are you what's your
I have a Polaris, but I do.
I was a Polaris guy growing up as well. What about you?
My uncle owns a Skidoo.
Oh, nice.
But then I'm mostly Polaris.
Okay.
They'll figure it out someday.
So you're outnumbered.
Oh yeah, okay.
You're outnumbered.
They're a step behind.
Or maybe we're just smarter.
Yep. Could be. So when did you guys get interested in mechanical things and building things and machines? Is that something you've always kind of been into?
I've been into just building things with my hands and hands-on stuff and projects ever since I was a little kid. And I decided to do Project G.R.I.L.L this year, hoping to be able to like take that to the next level and build something really cool that the community and everyone can enjoy.
Yeah. What about you guys? Always kind of been into machines and working with your hands?
I always work with my hands. I've been working with my dad since I was really young. And so I've always just really liked working with my hands. And I knew I knew probably in 6th grade what I was going to do when I was older.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to be a plumber.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. What about you?
I've always worked with my hands no matter what, usually woodworking around the shop with my father, building things all the time. We built a gazebo over the summer.
Really?
We built our own 3-car garage.
What's it made out of? Is it composite or do you use a real wood?
We use real wood.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, Sean's seen it, but I don't know how to show you it, but, we just built it. And then my dad's always been in HVAC, so I've helped him with side jobs and doing things like that.
Okay. So what do you want to do when you graduate?
I don't really know yet, but going into the trades for sure.
Nice.
This year I'm going to go into construction because I've always wanted to build my own house.
Nice. That's awesome. What about you? What are you looking to do?
So right now I currently work at Integrity Saw and Tool, and I do that youth apprenticeship program.
Okay.
So I'll go and work there from 6 in the morning and until 10 o'clock, and then I'll go to school.
So you work with Paul?
Yep.
I know Paul really well.
Yep. It's a really great company. Love everyone there. And then actually today I went to Madison Tech. It was the admissions day there. We had kind of figure out your schedule and classes.
Okay.
So I'm going to be going to Madison.
You're a senior?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to be going to Madison Tech College for business management. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
So you guys like building things, like working with your hands. Tell me about Project G.R.I.L.L and that kind of, what that's all about here in the Fond du Lac community. Or you guys are from?
We're from Rosendale.
Rosendale. Okay. Yep. Well, tell me about Project G.R.I.L.
So Project G.R.I.L has been a pretty cool project for our school and our shop program. Yep. It's a pretty big deal to us. We definitely take it seriously. And last year we built a really cool pizza oven trailer, and I think what we have going this year could definitely top it.
So a full trailer.
Yep.
So trailer, wheels, tires, enclosure, working pizza oven, the whole works.
Yep.
So what we did, I was part of the team last year.
Electric or wood fired, or how is it? Coal? What's the power source?
One of Mr. Felix's friends, he sells at his wood shop store. He sells like pizza ovens. It's like a brick oven.
Okay.
That it gets really hot in there and it cooks like a pizza in like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
It's a really nice pizza oven. I think it's called Alpha Ovens.
Yeah. So is it radiant? Is it a radiant heat? So electric?
No, it doesn't.
It runs off with just regular like we light wood on fire and it sits in there and it gets really hot. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, and we made like a trailer like around it. That's what we did.
So that was last year.
Yep.
What'd you guys do this year?
This year in my opinion, we topped it. We went with a drum set grill idea. So we partnered with Festival Foods and we built a drum set for them that you'll be able to see at all the Broad Fries.
Nice. So the basic idea behind Project G.R.I.L.L is to come up with a cool idea for an actual functional grill, and then you guys work on the design and partner with local manufacturers to bring it to life. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yep. And I think the coolest thing about Project G.R.I.L.L is like going through like these different local places, and like if you do Project G.R.I.L.L and you go into an interview with any of these places, you pretty much are hired, and it's a great way to get around and like find out what you want to do, and like it's really cool. So I think.
Do you get to see the full engineering process as well? Do they keep you in the loop as they're doing mechanical design and layouts? Is there CAD involved? What is that look like?
Well, we do all of that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do
okay.
that,
So you guys have SolidWorks classes or AutoCAD?
We have a couple of guys on the team that have done a lot of the designing and drafting, and 2 people in particular on the team that are pretty good with SolidWorks and have actually made actual drawings on SolidWorks that we have branched our ideas off of.
Okay.
So
we also use Google SketchUp.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we use Google SketchUp for like architectural drawings and outdoor modeling and things like that.
But we use that to communicate what we were actually going to build. I went into it for a week probably. It took, and we sent it over to our guys in festival, and they okayed it, and they said it looked great, and then we just went off of there, did our budget, and started putting metal together.
So rewind back to the first meeting for this year's project. Who was at the meeting? Who was involved? Like, what did that brainstorming session look like?
Well, we started off with how many ideas we go through? Like 3 before we got to our final one.
we spent a lot of time over the course of the school year just figuring out ideas and planning.
And this was ideas for the grill concept.
Yeah, the concept and design. So we really didn't get started with the grill that we're on now until, what would you say, like January?
End of January, February.
Yeah.
We started February 3rd, I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
So we started out, we wanted to do a mass production project. So we kind of looked at some of our old ideas. Like we made the Happy Camper Grills before, and those were definitely a hit. And we were thinking about like almost not copying it, but doing it better. So as far as a mass production project, we were looking at doing rocket stoves. And, after a lot of exploring with rocket stoves, we made a bunch of prototypes and even tried cooking with them to see how long it would take to like boil water and stuff like that.
So what made it a rocket stove? Was the shape, or were you using chemistry to heat it up, or what did that look like?
So what a rocket stove is it's it's like an L-shaped grill per se of like square tubing, and then there's a third shaft that feeds in. So it's a self-feeding wood stove. So you'll put wood into it, and it'll just burn, and then you'll set your pan on the top of this L shape per se. It's a little hard to understand without actually seeing one, but
it didn't work out too well.
No, we spent a lot of time
So you did some
on
prototyping.
Yep. And we tried to do, a lot of people make them out of 4x4 square tube steel, and we tried doing 2x2 to be a little bit more cost effective and things like that, and it would not work.
So is there a customer with this? Is somebody buying it? Is somebody giving you kind of customer requirements and what they need, or are you guys the customer essentially?
So what we did there is we kind of like found something we kind of liked, and we were going to make 25 of them, and we were just going to sell it out to the public. Anybody who wanted one would come and buy one. So it was kind of off our idea, and if people wanted it, really.
Was it tough to agree on what it should be? And sometimes when there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, I guess literally in this case, it's sometimes hard to arrive at a common goal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as we were building our prototypes, we didn't just have one group building a prototype. There was 4 or 5 almost different groups making prototypes in the class because everyone had their own idea and kind of wanted to roll with that.
Yep.
But yeah, after that, we got through the rocket stoves, decided that was not the best idea, and then we got on to, we were going to do a smoker trailer because we did a trailer year before with a pizza oven. We were thinking of doing one this year with a smoker, and we ended up not going that route as well.
So Project G.R.I.L. has expanded beyond grills specifically. I mean, there's a lot of variations of your traditional grill.
Mm-hmm. There's just, for me, Project G.R.I.L. versus making just a standard cooking grill, there's so much more that you can do, especially with an advanced shop and students and an advanced teacher like Mr. Felix.
Nice.
So we have the capabilities to build a lot more complex things.
So what kind of parts is this made up of? Sheet metal parts, extruded parts? What does the mechanical side of things look like?
It's pretty much the frame's 2x2 tube.
Steel.
Yep. And then our bass drums are built out of 18 gauge sheet metal, and then what else is on there? There's 1-inch tube, just little circle tube. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the only thing that we really outsource is there's 3 stand-up drums on the grill per se, which are technically like your cooking grills. So we outsourced those grills for cost-effective reasons and time, but everything else we made in-house.
So how many different suppliers did you have, and who'd you work with to get parts?
Mr. Felix.
Okay.
So
he was the buyer in the purchasing department.
Yeah, there's a couple different places we went. We got all or most of the metal from Elro.
Oh, nice.
And then
we work with Elro.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I don't know where he got the grills from.
The actual grills?
Yeah.
That's
Ace
just, we're just
Hardware.
going to Ace Hardware.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Our biggest thing with making this is we wanted to make one for festival because they always have somebody make one for them, but it like never lasts that long and they always have to bring out the Weber grills. So we decided to like use what they use and they know that works and everybody can use it. And we wanted it to last like forever. So we just went and we built kind of like last year, but instead of a pizza oven, we built the grill around the Weber grills. And so we have 3 Weber grills that are kind of like a drum set.
Yeah. So almost anyone can use a Weber grill. They're not very sophisticated, so that's why we went with that route. We could have honestly made our own grills too because we have the capabilities to do that, but we figured why reinvent the wheel if it's already proven.
Yeah. Cool. So what's next?
Paint.
Yeah.
Paint.
Right now we are currently in sandblasting.
Okay.
And paint prep.
So do you guys do the machining and the cutting and the blasting at school?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only thing we got anywhere else is the grills. Everything else we've done in our shop.
So what does your shop look like? What kind of equipment do you have? Is it all manual? Do you have any CNC or anything like that?
I would say one of our more sophisticated things that we have that has actually like we've used it a lot more than we ever thought we would was we have a plasma table and we have been able to cut out a lot of parts in that plasma table to weld them together.
Is that manual or a CNC plasma?
It's
CNC.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And that has definitely been a huge help in being able to build a more sophisticated grill.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But most of it's just like just regular, like a bandsaw and stuff like that we have to run and everything. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, we have a end mill too. We had to end mill a few parts. A lot of welding in the grill was involved. We have a really good welder on our team. His name's Bryce. Really good welder.
All steel welding?
Yep. He's been doing some TIG stuff too on the bass drums.
Yeah, we have to take some magnets on because it's kind of a cool thing that we added to the grill for the bass drums.
Yep.
It's like a door, but you can't really tell it's a door because it magnets straight to the thing.
Yeah, it's almost a hidden door.
Do you guys have any favorite YouTube channels that you follow for this type of stuff?
I would say none really in particular. So
where do you learn everything other than obviously you guys have a great instructor and a great class, but we have a lot of background knowledge just from other things and previous shop projects. But really, we got started on the whole drum set idea because we met with Mike from Festival, and he got us rolling on how the owner of Festival is a huge rock and roll fan. So originally we were planning on making like a guitar. So you knew your customer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we knew what he wanted. So we wanted to build something that he would like.
Yeah.
And originally we wanted to do like a guitar like cooktop per se to grill out on that. And then we also had a drum set idea. Well, we pursued the drum set idea and here we are. So
serious question. Do you guys see kids your age getting more and more interested in hands-on things and designing things and building things, or are you guys the exception to the rule? Or I guess when I went to high school, we were very much pushed away from doing a lot of this stuff. Like we were told that this wasn't the way to go. Do you think that is still the case, or do you see a lot of kids interested in doing stuff like this?
I think it's sad to say, but people are still trying to push it out of it, like push people away from it. But school, no, I can tell by most of the kids in my class, they don't really like school, but they love going down to the shop.
Yeah.
And so a lot more people are going into the trade, surprisingly, even though they're still pushing people out of it. But I think it's grown a lot.
That's awesome.
yeah, I think
so they're kind of overcoming some of the resistance to it.
Yeah, I think they used to, like in more recent years, really push more sitting at a desk, less hands-on things, looking at computers and stuff like that. And I think a lot of it depends on the student's background and what they're going to be interested in is what they're going to want to do. But I think that at least at our school, a lot of our enrollment and a lot of the kids there really go there for the shop and just the hands-on learning, things like that. I think kids really enjoy that, and they're starting to kind of realize that. And as you know, you look at like getting older and out of high school, you know, people are starting to realize like this is where the jobs are at.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I tour close to one factory a week. And, as you tour these places, you just start to realize how many people in the next decade are going to be retiring. And there's so many talented people with so much knowledge that, will be out of the workforce in the next decade. And it's just so important that young people get interested in this stuff. So it's very encouraging to see, people like you guys that, are passionate about it and want to, make a career out of it. And it's also fun too, because now you can combine it with drafting skills and computer skills. And I don't know if you're into electronics at all or if you've worked with a 3D printer, but there's kind of this overlap of technology and mechanical skill sets that make it a lot more fun as well.
And one thing I think, like, Mr. Felix has helped us a lot, and he knows literally everything, I swear. And where I can tell by going to other shops, like, most of the teachers aren't that good.
Yeah.
And like, we're losing a lot of that too, is like a lot of people are not going into the shop ed or
nobody's
wanting
inspired them to.
No, nobody wants to do that.
Yep.
So then we're losing like a lot less schools are getting like good shop teachers, which then you can't really teach many kids to love the shop if you don't have a good shop teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really think it all starts there as far from there on out into the workforce, as far as like a lot more of the hands-on jobs. It really starts in high school to, get those kids to understand what they want to do and not want to do.
Yeah, and I think too, then it's also on manufacturers and construction companies and people that are in the trades and in the designing, engineering, and building profession to make their company, exciting to work at. I think a lot of manufacturing companies maybe haven't done that, and to be able to appeal to the next generation or two, it's you having a great place to work, so that is the people that do want to work with their hands and do want to design things, that they can come to work and get excited to be at work.
Yeah, you should. When you're at work, you should not feel like you're working.
Ideally, yeah. There's
that's
always
the goal.
Yeah, that's the ideal. I think everybody 20-30% of their day is probably less than ideal, but absolutely, it's I think the shop should be an inviting place for people to come to, and place that people can have fun at work.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people go to like college for things they've never tried. Like last summer, I went to work for a plumber to find out if I actually liked it or not.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that and you go and get a whole 2-4 year degree and then you find out you don't like it, well, then you have to start all over, and nobody wants to do that.
Well, it's crazy how many people, or at least that I know, just have stories of like going to college, spending the money, doing the 4 years, and realizing that it's not what they want to do, and they're that much farther back.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kids that should do it, but there's a lot of kids that shouldn't do it, and that's just everybody needs to listen to themselves and do what they know is right for them.
And I'm not saying hands-on is for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got to follow your dreams and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
And we still do need people on computers.
Yes, exactly.
But
what else you guys want to talk about?
Should we get more into the actual grill or no?
Go for it.
Do you want to talk a little bit about it, Wyatt, or no?
I don't really know what to talk about.
So I don't know if you.
What color is it?
It's going to be black.
Black.
We're still working on the painting process.
High temp paint. Actually,
no, because so the 3 Weber grills are obviously like kettle shaped grills. Yep. And it's going to be completely wrapped in stainless.
Okay.
So we shouldn't have to deal with any high heat paint. We just need all gloss black, and we're just trying to figure out how we're going to complete that whole process.
Have you guys done any photorealistic renderings or anything? Or have you, like in SolidWorks, you can have rendering add-ons and programs where you can truly see what it's going to look like?
We did that last year, but I don't think we've...
Okay.
No, I think
they had some
Landon
pretty...
did.
Yeah, they had some realistic...
I drew up a thing in SolidWorks, and it's pretty much almost identical right away to what we have now.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, but we're having problems right now because we're running out of time and we haven't really started paint yet.
Got to put some OT in.
Yeah, a little overtime is going to be needed, but don't worry, it'll be done.
When's the due date?
Friday.
Jeez.
Not this Friday.
What are you guys
next
doing
Friday,
here?
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is part of the marketing pitch.
Right.
It's like the product's almost done. Now you got to go on your world tour and start promoting it.
Yeah, it's not just the product. It's every phase.
Yeah. Cool. So tell me more about the the design?
As far as it goes, I don't know if you already know or not, but what it is so there's 2 bass drums in the front of the grill, and it all sits on like a triangle-shaped frame with 3 caster wheels. And we went with 3 wheels on the ground versus 4 to kind of avoid rocking if you're on like uneven ground. And we have custom caster mounts, so it sits lower to the ground, so you can't like trip on the frame, and it's not a trip hazard for that sake. So there's 2 bass drums on the front, and then the bass drums, we completely made those from scratch and rolled the sheet metal in-house. And inside the bass drums, you can keep like 3 to 4 bags of charcoal in each drum, and then like your lighter fluid and
how do you keep the seams?
lighters.
How do you keep the seams together on the bass drum?
We rolled it tight, and then Bryce welded the back side of the drum, and then we left a little room for an overlap, and then we trimmed that so it was flush, and then he TIG welded that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so then on those, there's magnet doors that go on the front of those, so you can keep all your storage in there, and like no one will ever know. And there's actual bass drum rings on it.
So like that drum set over there.
Yep.
Nice.
It actually looks really realistic. Yeah. And then, like I said, behind that, there's your 3 stand-up grills wrapped in stainless. So everything is kind of black and chrome, kind of rock and roll themed.
Have you thought about doing a wrap, like a vinyl wrap?
I think we thought about it, and we just decided that we thought the paint would hold up better long term.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely a good idea.
You could always wrap it after it's painted too.
Yeah, and our budget, and we want it to be a grill.
Not a drum set.
But yeah, and then on the front, there's 2 symbols for like with stainless steel tops to put your like cooking trays on, or like spatulas, stuff like that. And we did stainless on those, so it still meets your quality food standards. But
cool.
Yeah.
Then the stands for the whole snare drums, what you're cooking with on the Weber grills, it comes up through a pole, and it has 3 things that branch off, because the foot pedal stools, I don't really know how to describe it. It has 3 little pegs that come off, and we're like, what are we going to do for this? So Keith and Grady and Oliver and I, we all sat down. We're like, what are we going to do? And this was probably what took us the longest. It was probably 3 weeks. We sat there and measured all the little parts up, and then once we got done with that, it was just cruising through it now.
Did you draft everything in SolidWorks, or some stuff you just kind of trialed and errored and cut to length?
That stuff we trialed and errored.
We eyeballed it.
Yeah, that was a...
Well, there were a couple things like the bass drums. I'm not super familiar with SolidWorks like a couple of the other teammates are, so I actually drew that all up on paper and like had all the measurements and stuff on there, so they kind of go off of that.
Yep.
And I would say like one of our struggles, or at least for me, has been because I do the youth apprenticeship, and they have the class together like right away in the morning, so I'm not even there in the mornings while they're working on it. So I'm only at school on Fridays while they're all there, because I don't work on Fridays, because my work schedule is 4-10, so they work Monday through Thursday, and I'm not there on Fridays. So then I join the class on Fridays. So I'm really only there 1 day a week, but like I'm in school in the afternoons and have a different shop class, so I'm still working on it, just not with them.
And he writes out a lot of the emails and stuff.
Yep.
Cool. So you guys have kind of settled into your own roles within the team as well.
Yeah.
Nice. So what do you think, I guess we'll maybe end with a few questions here, but what do you think schools and companies, and I guess really schools and companies, can do to encourage more talented, hands-on, hardworking kids to get into things like this? So it's talked about all the time. It's been talked about for probably the last 10 years, how we need more people to go into the trades, get interested in this type of stuff. But your school, because you guys have a great shop teacher, it seems like it's kind of working, but a lot of schools it's not. If you were writing school policy or even public policy, like what would you do to encourage more kids to go down this road?
That's a great question. I think everyone should take a shop class, but there are certain people that I'm like, that would never work, just because they have their certain traits and stuff. But I feel like everybody should try everything, kind of like we have to still take English class.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
That's what
we still have to do English class.
So I think everybody should try it, like just like one semester of it, or just one quarter or something, just to see if they like it.
Yeah, why should you be forced to take ancient history, but not a shop class.
That
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. What else?
I definitely think that like you have to try everything to like really like, I mean, as far as looking at school from a like career prep standpoint,
Yep.
You need to try everything to like really understand what you want and don't want. Like maybe you're gonna go to school and be an accountant, but maybe you really wanted to be a plumber and you just never did a shop class to realize what you actually wanted.
Yep.
I think everybody should just get a baseline of what the tools are and how to use them. Like just go down to the shop and build one simple project, and if that's all you really want to do, then if you don't want to do shop anymore, you can just leave the class after the semester. But I think everybody should get one semester of it, because you never know, you're going to find something that you really like to do one day, and you might just stick with that.
So really one of the things is just more exposure to a wider range of people. How much of it do you think that I think it's something people should be really proud of, and I think that teachers and companies and it should be people should feel proud to get to make things with their hands and get into it. And it's part of, I think sometimes that gets discouraged or people are looked down upon if they do that. But how do you think that can change? Because I think people should be proud to get into this stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think that people should be proud to build or accomplish anything, be able to like start a project and finish and be like, hey, I did that. But I also think in the shop there are a lot of just like things in life that you learn that can definitely be useful, like especially if you're going to own a house someday, things that are like putting on new faceplates on like an outlet or a light switch, or just, I mean, there's very basic things that
what's dangerous, what's not.
Yeah, and just save yourself a lot of money in the future.
And like my dad is like what he calls himself is a jack of all, master of none. So he knows how to do literally everything. Like we built
a handyman, right?
Yeah, we built an extra garage during COVID, and if you with Mr. Felix, when you take a shop class, he teaches you how to set a toilet. He teaches you how to put a outlet in. He teaches you all that stuff. Well, most people don't know how to do that if they don't take the shop class. Well, now I'll know how to do that in my own house and won't have to hire anybody or anything, and it'll be cheaper for me, and I'll feel like when you get something done, just the feeling you get is so much better, and I'm great.
And even at just simple things, just like changing a light bulb, like right there, you could have just saved yourself $50 if you're owning a house and needed to hire someone to do that.
So these are things that schools can do. What about companies, like manufacturing companies? Is it getting more people through? Is it having a clean shop? Is it having a good culture? People feel welcome. What do you think actual companies can do?
I feel like just exposing them to like actually what you do. Like this year I went on a tour at Fond du Lac High School with all my other classmates and stuff. But there was only a handful of companies there. Then there's all these colleges that take up the whole gym, and all the companies, like the actual companies you go to after high school, they only get like one little room. And I think that there should be more people there pushing what they do and how they do stuff.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot of people that come through our shop, and it also forces us to elevate our game. We say we need to be customer ready. We need to make sure that when people come through, it's not perfectly picked up and organized all the time, but we need to be ready, and that's good for the company. It's like going to a restaurant when you can see into the kitchen. People are I think they're gonna make better food. It's the same thing when you have customers through your shop. You're gonna make better product. So I think factories and shops should be open to having kids through and customers through, and I think just more exposure at the school level, but also more exposure at the company level is probably good for everybody.
And I like it when they're really like welcoming, and like when everybody's nice to you and all your coworkers
and well lit, good lighting too.
Yeah, right. And no, I think that Project G.R.I.L.L has done a really good job of that, at least for businesses in the Fond du Lac area, being able to like spread the names of the businesses and then be able to show it off to like different high school students in the area for, a career standpoint, even just a business standpoint of like promoting their product or brand.
But. Cool. Well, anything else? Closing thoughts?
I like Project G.R.I.L because you can tour the manufacturing. I saw Evyn go into Integrity Saw and Tool.
Yeah.
And that was right after we toured.
Great shop.
Yeah.
Epoxy floor,
Yep.
Temperature controlled.
Love it there.
Dust filtration or cutting oil filtration, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I really think that as far as for Project G.R.I.L. and our team, we really want to say a big thanks to Mr. Felix and everyone at the school and Mid-States Aluminum and Festival and MEC and then Wisconsin Lighting Lab.
Yeah.
But
we got a lot of really good companies in the area, and if there's a bright spot in the manufacturing sector, it's definitely in southeastern Wisconsin. And I'm, it's encouraging that you guys are into this stuff, and there's more kids that are getting into it because it's really important for not only the state but really just the economy as a whole that we get young people into this stuff again.
Yeah, and all these trades, you're always going to need people there, and like there's robots taking all these people's jobs.
Things do not build themselves.
No,
right.
no.
And even on the automation side, people don't realize that such a huge percentage of stuff is already automated. You go into a food processing company, you go into high volume manufacturing where there's very little variation. A lot of that stuff is automated. The low to medium volume, the fun stuff. People are going to have to do that for a long time. It's going to be really hard to train a robot to do a lot of that stuff, and we definitely need more people that are interested in it.
And when you're in that job, like if something happens like COVID, you're never scared that you're going to just lose your job, and then you're really going to have a hard time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool guys. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, swing by anytime. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.